Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Doctor Who Daily. Today we talk about the Doctor's belief system, because I don't know about Classic Who, because I don't know Classic Who so well. But Russell T Davies decided to give David Tennant's Doctor a belief system. Very, very interesting. And in Series 2 we had a two-parter called The Impossible Planet and Satan's Pit. I think they're the episodes. I just saw them on Google. I had to research them because I couldn't remember the titles of the episodes. So in this two-parter we're introduced to the Ood. Now this is fascinating to me because Russell T Davies decided to create a slave race and call them the Ood. I'd love to know why he decided to go with Ood. Maybe because it was a friendly, disarming name. Very clever for kids as well. But they're a slave race. They're a commentary in slavery, of slavery that human beings have enacted in our cruel past. But again, because this is Russell, he just puts it out there. And it's interesting because he doesn't start putting down governments and people from the past. He just says, listen, this is my commentary. They're a slave race. So this is interesting as well. Because when we get to the end of the second episode, or the end of the first one, the Ood, basically this so-called devil takes control of this slave race, the Ood. Now, of course, this is underlining commentary of the devil, you know, taking control of slaves. Do you get it? But it's not obvious to see. And this is how Russell does social commentary. And it's so much better than someone like Chris Chibnall does, because today's writers really want you to know what they're trying to say. And they're trying to mark you and say, it's you, it's your fault. You've caused society's problems, do you get it? But Russell T Davies is a little bit more nuanced than that. Not a little bit more, a lot more nuanced. Very few writers are as nuanced as Russell T Davies. But I didn't really want to talk about the Oods today. I want to talk about the Doctor's belief system in this two-parter. He says a lot of, but that's impossible. In fact, David Tennant's Doctor says it a lot within the David Tennant RTD era. So when he's faced with this devil, and this devil is saying that he is the devil, and the Doctor won't accept that the devil is real. So if he doesn't believe in the devil, that means the Doctor doesn't believe in God. Interesting, isn't it? And if the Doctor doesn't believe in God, you know, that's a big statement. But again, when this episode aired, nobody got it. Nobody thought about that. Hang on a minute. This character is saying that he does not believe in the devil. But by the end of the episode, he started to wane. Still kind of resisting the urge to believe in the devil. He saw it. It was there. But to the Doctor, there could be another explanation. He's travelled for so many years, you know, and decades, so, you know, nothing he sees would surprise him. So he refuses to believe there's the devil, which means he doesn't believe in God. So the Doctor actually has a belief system. He believes in the Time Lord and the rules, and them observing the universe and gathering all the information on the universe that they have. Of course, this is many, many years before the Timeless Child reveal. So her faith in the Time Lords now must be absolutely gone. But back then, in the early years of the revival, he believed in what he learned from the Time Lords and from his own travels, that the devil's not real. Now, obviously, Russell T Davies is never going to be allowed by the BBC to kind of be faced with God in a kind of underground cave, and then him saying, but that's impossible, I don't believe you're real. There's no one, very few creatives would be allowed on the BBC to write an episode where a character says there's no such thing as God. I mean, I've written a story called Trapped, where these mysterious metal-looking walls rise up and trap the fictional town of Redford, and then this weird text comes up, and one of those weird texts says, no God. No one's willing to buy that from me, I can assure you of that. And I'm not willing to change the text. It doesn't necessarily mean I don't believe in God, because I don't know what I believe. I don't have a strict belief system. I don't really believe, honestly, I believe in eating, smoking, drinking beer, you know, making love to beautiful women. I suppose that is toxic masculinity, if you want to call it that. But that's who I am. And watching TV and talking about all the geek stuff I absolutely adore, and Doctor Who is one of those things. But it's fascinating that Davies gave the Doctor a belief system, and the Doctor in that belief system believes that the devil and God are impossible and are not real. And it's even more amazing that the audience didn't lose their shit, because I was having a cigarette, I know, terrible habit, but I was having a cigarette on my balcony, and I was thinking, because I was going to talk about something else. I was going to talk about Jodie Whittaker, you know, saying her doctor's like David Tennant's, and I was going to go into this passionate conversation of, has she even seen David Tennant's era, because she's nothing like David's doctor. A conversation for another time. But I did think about this on the balcony, and I do have a lot of thoughts. When I'm smoking is the time when I have my best ideas for videos and storytelling and, you know, everything in general. And I was just thinking, fucking hell, he's so clever. Davies can have social issue, like creating a slave race, you know, like the Ood, and nobody really notices what he's trying to say. You see, the point is, he knows what he's saying. It's a bit like Family Guy. Family Guy pretty much is about toxic masculinity. Who loves Family Guy and Peter Griffin? Us men. And he's basically laughing at us, isn't he, Seth MacFarlane? He's saying, well, this is about you and this is what arseholes you are. Yeah, mate, we don't care. It's entertaining, we're going to keep on watching it. But he thinks he's got one over on the audience. It's the same as Homer Simpson. You know, it's there's other characters like this in animation and in comedy and in drama. But what it is, people can enjoy these things without being triggered. And it's not divisive, because at the end of the day, no one really sees what these creatives are trying to say. So it was very clever of Davies to say, well, I'm making the Doctor kind of say he doesn't believe in God by saying he doesn't believe in the devil. So I'm not really a religious person, but I find this fascinating. And it's an interesting thing, you know, he's there, he can see what's going on. He's faced with the devil, if that's what it is, but he still refuses to believe what's in front of him, because this is what happens. Everyone has a belief system. How many times have we heard, believe in science? I don't trust science. Believe in science. Some people believe the world was created with rocks and natural elements, and some people believe that, you know, the world and the universe was created by some being. And honestly, I don't know what to believe. I mean, I will say this about that subject. I know it's going away from Doctor Who, but I will say this about that. Think about your body. Everything we have is there to keep us going. Seems a bit like a design, doesn't it? But it doesn't seem like a design from a god. It sounds like we were actually designed by something out there, maybe another race, maybe we were an experiment, surely a failed experiment by now that our creators have given up on. But that's the way I look at it. Just look at the human being. You know, the voice box, the heart pumps blood, the kidneys clean the blood. You know, and if something doesn't work, you're in a bit of trouble, right? So the human body is like creating a robot and having all these parts to make sure the robot works. Who designed this? I don't believe it's some god. I believe something out there designed us for sure. And now I'm going to be carted away to the loony bin by even having this conversation. But it's just something that is my belief system. Because for me, that's common sense. But I don't really have a strong belief system in any of the things in the world today, where it's religion, the laws we live under, you know. None of that really interests me. What interests me is enjoyment, having a party, enjoying myself. But it is interesting when these creatives get an opportunity to do something and you bring the subject of religion into Doctor Who without anyone fucking noticing. And I think this is how smart Russell T Davies is. I mean, literally the guy saying the devil isn't real. Now imagine if people worked out that Davies was trying to say that the Doctor doesn't believe in God. You know, that would have been an interesting conversation, wouldn't it? And if Chibnall did something like that, we'd absolutely kill him for it. Not kill him literally, but verbally. But the point is about it. It's the way you write it. That's really what my video is about today. That if you write with nuance, without people really noticing what you're attempting to do. But you see, we live in a world of hot takes. So on social media, people do hot take videos and hot take, posts on purpose to get attention. And people like Chibnall do it now. People like Rian Johnson do it now. They make movies. They're literally hot take movies. They're not very entertaining, but they're supposed to trigger you and cause conversation. This has been the Doctor Who Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more Doctor Who Daily. Until then, au revoir, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen.